Okay, just going to go through the paper so that you can rewind or fast forward as much as you need to whilst you're going through the paper. Whilst you're going through the paper, this should be stuck into your book. The post exam assessment target sheet should be stuck in. You need to put your mark here. So you got 23 out of 52. Write that down. Your strengths are anything that you got correct. So, for example, if you got the standard form question correct, you can put that your strength is problem involving standard form as your strength. And I want 2 or 3 strengths written in. And then your target is anything you got wrong. So, for example, if you got writing in standard form incorrect, so writing numbers in standard form, you got it incorrect. Writing in standard form, you would put as your target. And again, I would like 2 or 3 in your target. So 2 or 3 strengths, 2 or 3 targets, okay? You do not have to fill this in, leave that for now. Okay, let's go through the paper. So it starts off really nice and easy. When you are dividing, you subtract the indices. So the indices are these numbers here. So you do 8, take away 3 to give that your answer is y to the power of 5. Next, you can do it 2 ways. You can expand the brackets, so do the grid 4 times x plus 3, which gives you 4x plus 12. So 4x plus 12 is greater than 8. We're going to take away 12 from both sides to give you that 4x. So we've got rid of the plus 12 by taking away 12. So 4x is greater than minus 4. And then we are dividing by 4. Remember, we're dividing by a positive number, so we don't need to change the inequality sign the wrong way round. We can just leave it like this. The divide by 4 gets rid of the times by 4, so you're just left with x is greater than minus 1. And it's as simple as that. Okay, the other way you could have done it is you could have gone straight into dividing both sides by 4. So if I divide both sides by 4, it gets rid of the times by 4 here. And the only reason why you can do this is because on the other side, the 8 is divisible by 4. Sometimes it's not possible. So I personally prefer this way, multiplying out the brackets first. So then you're left with x plus 3 is greater than 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then you simply take away 3 from both sides to get rid of the plus 3, and you're left with x is greater than minus 1. So both work, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so here we want to find out x, and so this one is the nicest one they could have possibly given you. Look at this. Yeah, so we know that x is 57 degrees, and you've got to give your answer, and it's nice and easy. Because of the F, and you cannot say because of the F, you've got to use the proper wording. So because corresponding angles are equal. Okay, so you need to do that. It did allow for you to do it other ways. So for example, I don't know if I spotted anyone doing this, but some of you may have found out what this is, thus found out this, and done it a long way round. As long as you gave your justifications, as in your reasons, so angles on a straight line add up to 180. And then maybe you used alternate angles, whatever you used, as long as you gave a reason it would still give you the marks, okay? But the easiest one is to just use corresponding angles. Okay, now this next one. So you either memorize that the angles in a pentagon add up to 540, and to be fair, we did this before the exam, those of you who were listening, or you can remember that it is always the number of sides take away 2, so 5 take away 2, and then times by 180, so 3 times 180, which gives you 540. It's up to you which way you remember it. But remember, in the exam, in the real exam, your IGCSE, you have no idea what polygon they could give you. So what I suggest you do is really learn the rule, because I think it's quite hard to try and memorise several different polygons. But either way is fine. So you should then add up your 86, your 142, your 72, and your 115. And you can use your calculator if you don't trust yourself, and that comes to 415. And then you do 415 take away, so 540 take away 415 to give you your answer, and that gives you 125. So Y is 125. So hopefully, I think most of you got that. Okay, this was the one that I felt so sorry for some of you, but the mark scheme was so clear that I cannot accept this. I cannot accept this. And it was very clear in the mark scheme that we cannot accept that. That is so wrong, because it says one significant figure. So one significant figure, you look, you want the 40, and then you just put the 0 to hold the value, hold the place value to keep it 40. Here, you want the 50, but because the next number along is 5 or more, we round up to 60. Here, we want the 20. The next number along is less than 5, so we keep it 20. And that's what you needed to do to get full marks on that question. Then the next bit makes it super easy. It says use the approximations in part A. They want you to use this to work out an estimate. Can you see that these are the same numbers? 42.37, 42.37, 58.92, and so on. They're the same. So now I'm going to use my approximations. So 40 plus 60 divided by 20. I can do this so easily in my head. 40 plus 60 is 100. And then divided by 20 gives me 5, okay? Obviously, you can check on your calculator, but the idea behind using approximations is that it gives you an estimate, so not the exact value, an estimate that you can easily work out without a calculator. Okay, so this one was actually a nice one. Of all the questions they could ask you, this was a nice one. You do not have to draw a Venn diagram, but I saw lots of you drawing Venn diagrams to make it easier for yourself. And if you did, that is also absolutely fine. And sometimes it just makes it clear for you. So let's do the multiples of 5. Let's do factors of 100 first. I'll write them outside for now. I'll write them outside of the Venn diagram for now, just to make sure I've got all of them. So 1 and 100, 2 times 50, 4 times 25, 7, 8, 10 times 10, and I believe that is it. And so let's put those in. So 1 is not a factor of 5, nor is 2, nor is 4, but 10 is. I'm going to put it there. I'll tell you what I've missed out. 5 times 20. Oh dear. 5 times 20. So 4 is not a factor of 5, but 5 is. 10 is, which I've already put. 20 is. 25 is. 50 is. And 100 is. Okay. So it just asks you for A and B, so the union, which is just talking about the middle bit. So it's talking about this bit here. And so all it wanted you to then put is those answers. So 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, and 100. That's it. And some of you worked that out without using a Venn diagram. It really doesn't matter. You didn't have to use one. You could have just listed it the way that I did, and then circled the ones that are in that are part of the 5 multiples of 5 or the 5 times table, and that's all you needed to do. Okay, so we want to work out the number of sides of this polygon. So remember, if we have a polygon, so this is just one of the corners of our polygon. So that's our interior angle, 156, although obviously I haven't drawn it to scale. But actually, let me make it a little bit more believable. So that is 156. That's our interior angle. And this is our exterior angle that we can work out. So our exterior angles now, interior and exterior angles add up to 180 because they're on a straight line. So we're going to do 180, take away 156, which we can do on our calculator, which is 24. So I now know the exterior angle is 24. Now, all exterior angles, doesn't matter how many sides your polygon has, add up to 360. It could be a 10,000 sided polygon and the exterior angles would still add up to 360. So all we have to do now to get our answer is 360 divided by 24. So 360 divided by 24, which gives us 15 sides. Okay. Right, this table gives the populations of each of 5 countries. Right, 9.7 times 10 to the power 7 is an ordinary number. So it's going to be with 6 zeros. And you can always check it because the decimal point was here. And I move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and that's why it is to the power of 7. So it's 97 million. Right, the population of Russia in 2014 was 140 million. Write it in standard form. So I just want to make sure I've got enough zeros there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 1, 2, 7. So I want my decimal point to be here, so it's going to be 1.4 times 10 to the power of something. So how many times did I have to move it from here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1.4 times 10 to the power of 8. Okay. Next, we're going to do some subtraction. So there were more people living in China than were living in the USA. How many more? Give your answer in standard form. lots of different ways you can do this. So basically we are doing 1.4 times 10 to the power of 9. So 1.4 times 10 to the power of 9. Take away USA. 3.2 times 10 to the power of 8. Okay. So there are different ways you could have done this. You could turn them into ordinary numbers and then do the subtraction. So I'll do both actually. So if I turn it into an ordinary number, this is 1 and then 4 and then 8 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't know why I did it, wrote it like this, doesn't matter. And then the 3.2 times 10 to the power of 8 is 3, 2 and 2 and 7 zeros. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Subtract. Obviously these are all going to be zeros because 0 take away 0 is 0, 0, 0. Then obviously when we get to here, 0 take away 2 we can't do, so we're going to borrow. 10 take away 2 is 8. 3 take away 3 is 0. And 1 take away 0 is 1. So we know it's going to be 1.08 times 10 to the power of something. And we're going to put our decimal point there to make it in standard form. And we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's to the power of 9. Okay. The other way you could have done it, but both are valid. So you could, so that was one way, turn them into ordinary numbers and then do the subtraction. Or you could have made the indices the same. I'm trying to think which is the easiest to do. I am going to turn this one into, so I'm going to make this into 10 to the power of, no I'm not. I'm going to make this 10 to the power of 9. So I'm going to make this 0.32 times 10 to the power of 9. Okay, so that means that I can just do a simple subtraction. I could even do it on my calculator. I just need to do 1.4 take away 0.32, and that's going to give me 1.08, and then it's to the power of 9. Okay, because the indices stay the same. Either is fine. And if you're not sure about that and you want some more examples or for me to help you, then come and see me. Right, in 2014, the population of India was K times the population of Mexico. Work out the value of K. So this is a division. We want the population of India, which is 1.3 times 10 to the power of 9. So 1.3 times 10 to the power of 9. And we want the population of Mexico, 1.2 times 10 to the power of 8, 1.2 times 10 to the power of 8. And we're going to do a division. Okay. So this is, I say nice and easy. Yeah, it's all right. So you can either turn them into ordinary numbers, or you can just do 1.3 divided by 1.2. So 1.3 divided by 1.2 is 1.083 recurring. Goes on forever. And then subtract the indices 9, take away 8 is 1, so times 10. You can put to the power of 1. Now that, if I times that by 10, because it says to the nearest whole number, so if I times that by 10, that makes it 10.83 recurring. and to the nearest whole number, that is just 11. So, because it wants it to the nearest whole number, but I think you did get some marks for getting the 10.83. So I think you got 1 mark for that. Okay, let's carry on. Right, if you want the gradient, then you have to turn this into, we want it to look like y equals mx plus c, so that we're easily able to tell what the gradient is and what the y-intercept is. At the moment, it does not look like that. So I'm going to take the 7x to the other side, and when I take it over to the 7x, it becomes minus, so I get 2y equals minus 7x plus 10. It's still not 1y, so I need it to be 1y, so I'm going to divide by 2. So I've got to divide everything by 2 to get that 1y equals minus 3.5x plus 5. Now look at that, I can easily say that my gradient is minus 3.5. You do not need to put the x. So the gradient is just minus 3.5. But in the next part, B, it says find the coordinates of where L crosses the y-axis. So basically the y-intercept. Again, I can just pick it out. Look at this. It's just there. So it crosses the y-axis at 5. So 0, 5. And that's it. That's for that one. Okay. So we want to work out the price of the dress in the sale. So it's a 12% reduction. So 100%. Take away 12% is 88%. And then turn that into a decimal, which is 0.88. So you should have done 45 times 0.88. And you can just pick up your calculator and do that. And that gives you $39.60. Remember, you should put 2 decimal places when you're talking about money. However, in the mark scheme, it did allow full marks for those of you who put 39.6. But you should put 2 decimal places. Okay. Next one, we're calculating her pay, her percentage pay increase. So remember, it's the difference divided by the original times by 100, okay? So the difference, so 546 take away 525. So, I think I'm a bit sleepy today. I'm going to do that on my calculator. Of course, it's 21. It's 21. And then we do 21 divided by the original. So remember, it increases from 525. That is the original, how much she was getting paid. So we do 21 divided by 525. And then we times by 100. And that gives us 4%. Okay. Next one. Okay, expand the brackets. So if you want to use the grid, you can. If you don't, that's also fine. Just make sure that you're doing 3 times x, which is 3x, and you're doing 3 times minus 4, which is minus 12. Okay, once you've done that, 3x take away 12 equals 5x plus 8. Then you can do all the things that we've done before. So nice and easy. It's up to you which way around you go. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides to get rid of the 5x here. And that leaves me here minus 2x minus 12 equals 8. Then I'm going to add 12 to both sides because that will get rid of the minus 12. So remember, you always do the opposite. and that gives me minus 2x equals 20. And then finally, to get rid of the times by minus 2, I'm going to divide by minus 2. And that's going to give me that x equals minus 10. Okay, so good. Next one, write down the inequality shown on the number line. You can see that it's going down the number line, so it's less than, so x is less than because it's going down the number line. And look, it's coloured in, so we're going to put our line there, and it's at 2. So x is less than or equal to 2. Right, write down all the possible values of y. Some of you ignored the fact that it said integer, so that is a whole number. It can be positive or negative, but it has to be a whole number. Some of you put decimals and fractions in there. It's got to be a whole number. So minus 4 is less than or equal to 2y, which is less than 6. I'm going to divide everything by 2, so it becomes minus 2. And this is y, and this becomes 3. So I know that my y is greater than or equal to minus 2. So it includes minus 2. So minus 2, minus 1, 0. And it stops here at 3. So does it include 3? No, because there is no line here. So it's just 1 and then 2. And that's it. Yeah. Okay, solve the inequality. So again, it is exactly like this one that we did here, apart from it's got an inequality in it. And we don't even have to multiply out a bracket actually. So 7t take away 3 is less than or equal to 2t plus 31. So we're going to take away 2t from both sides to get rid of the 2t here. And that leaves me on this side 5t take away 3 is less than or equal to 31. Then I'm going to add 3 to both sides to get rid of the take away 3 here. So I do the opposite. And that's going to give me 5t is less than or equal to 34. And then finally, to get rid of the times by 5, I'm going to divide by 5 to give me t is less than or equal to whatever 34 divided by 5 is, which is 6.6. No. Oh, no, not 6.6, 6.8. So I was trying to work that out in my head. 6.8. And so you just leave the answer like that. And that's it. Okay, this is the one that a lot of you weren't sure about, didn't like. But remember, you got some marks. I'll try and tell you where you got some marks. So you got 1 mark just for finding the gradient, which hopefully most of you could do. 7 take away minus 1. So 7 take away minus 1. So the 2 y's subtracted. Now the x is subtracted 4 take away 1. So this makes a plus. So 7 plus 1 is 8 over 3. 4 take away 1 is 3. I personally would leave it as a fraction, otherwise it's going to get very messy. So you got 1 mark for that. Then we have to substitute back in order to find our y-intercept. At the moment we're going to make our equation look like this. So y equals 8 over 3 x plus c. So remember, 8 over 3 is our gradient, and I'm going to use this. It doesn't matter which point you substitute in, but I'm going to substitute in 4, 7. So instead of y, I'm going to put 7 equals, sorry, 8 over 3 times x, which in this case is 4, plus c. Again, keeping everything as a fraction. So 7 equals 32 over 3 plus c. Now, remember, you have your calculator. So I'm now going to do 7 take away 32 over 3. So 30 take away 32 over 3 on both sides to get rid of it here, so that I've just got my c on its own. And you can do that on the calculator. So I'm going to do 7 take away 32 over 3, which gives me minus 11 over 3. So at the moment, your equation looks like this. Y equals 8 over 3 x minus 11 over 3. And up until this point, you will have 3 out of the 4 marks. So you have done most of the hard work. So if you got up to that point, you've got the 3 marks. To get the 4th and final mark, I'm going to make it look like what they want me to do. So they want me to make it look like this. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3, because this fraction, I don't want it. So if I multiply everything by 3, y times 3 becomes 3y equals 8 over 3 times 3. So I'm just getting rid of that 3. So it just gives 8x. Take away 11 over 3 times by 3. I'm just getting rid of that 3, minus 11. And then I just take the 3y over to the other side, so it becomes 8x minus 3y equals 11. So I'm just swapping it round so that the 3y goes to that side and the 11 goes to that side of the equal sign. Okay? And again, if you want further practice or you just need me to re-go over it, then let me know. Okay, so I'll just leave that there so you can have a look again. I think that was probably the hardest question on there, but luckily there were lots of chances for you to get marks. Okay, y to the power 0. Remember, I told you anything to the power 0 is always 1, so that was nice and easy. Then we had to work out this and give our answer in standard form. So remember I said to you there are 2 ways to do this. We could, I was going to say, we could turn it into an ordinary number. We're not going to do that because obviously it's to the power of 140 and 141. And we don't want to do 140 or 141 zeros. No one wants to do that. So 9.6 times 10 to the power of 141 plus 6.4 times 10 to the power of 140. I'm going to change this one, okay, so that it becomes 0.64 times 10 to the power of 141, okay? And then I just have to do 9.6 plus, so I'm adding 0.64. And so 0 plus 4 gives me 4. 6 plus 6 is 12. Add the 1, so 10.24. Okay? So now, sorry, I've got 10.24. Now this is not in standard form yet, so just bear with me. 10.24 times 10 to the power of 141. So remember, when you're adding and subtracting, the indices stay the same. We don't do anything to those. I've just made them the same, and I'm then able to just add the decimals, and I'm dividing by 3.2 times 10 to the power of 16. Now part of this I can do on the calculator, I'm going to do 10.24 divided by 3.2 on my calculator. So 10.24 divided by 3.2 on my calculator. And that gives me 3.2. So it gives me 3.2 times 10 to the power of... Now remember, when you're dividing, you just subtract the indices. So I'm going to do 141 take away 16. So 141 take away 16, which gives me 125. That's my answer. I'm just going over this last one. Okay, so let's do the last one. So there are different ways you could do this. I'm going to make both denominators the same and then go from there. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3 to make the denominator 6. And I have to do the same to the top. So it becomes 15 take away 3x over 6. Take away, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2 to make sure it's over 6 as well. So I get 2x minus 2 over 6 equals 1. Okay. I'm now going to simplify the top, so gather my like terms, so make it all over 6. And I'm going to do 15 take away minus 2. So 15 take away minus 2 makes it plus 2. So that makes it 17. Next I do minus 3x take away 2x, which is minus 5x. Then I need to get rid of this divide by 6 by timesing by 6. And then it becomes much easier to manage. 17 take away 5x equals 6. That is much, much easier. So I'm now going to take away 17 from both sides, so that I'm left with minus 5x equals... so 6 take away 17 is minus 11. So minus 11. Then, oops, sorry, ignore that. I was doing some working out earlier. So then I'm going to divide both sides by minus 5. And that gives me, I can just do it on my calculator to double check, especially if you're feeling quite tired, which I am. So minus 11 divided by minus 5, it gives you x equals positive 2.2. And that's the end of that paper. Well done. Okay. Most of you have done very, very well.